Yeah, so New Mexico, I think, first drive wasn't the way that we wanted it to, but I think from there on out, as the ones we performed, I think, at a very high level. Obviously, put up a lot of points fast, a lot of points early, and kind of just sealed the deal nice and early in the game. Jordan Love obviously had an amazing game. Our receivers made some great catches, and I think we were just really clicking as an offense. And the offensive line was able to give some good protection and run the ball when it was needed.
Did you guys take the Wyoming game a little personal with how it went offensively? Do you think that changed? I mean, obviously you guys work hard every week, and that's been a good emphasis of this team. But did it change how you got ready for this game?
I think it definitely did because from at least in the offensive line room, we did not play up to our standards against Wyoming, and so I think we came in preparing for New Mexico with a renewed kind of vigor to kind of be ready to go for New Mexico and kind of get back to doing what we were doing, playing with our tempo, which I think was a huge part of the New Mexico game as well. There were a lot of times that we were up on the ball before the refs even had set the ball down. So I think that kind of just panicked their defense a little bit, which ended up helping us. So.
Where did you get most of the snaps in the game? What position?
I honestly couldn't. I don't remember exactly. I played left guard, right tackle, and left tackle. Somewhere between left guard and right tackle, I think. But I was bouncing all over the place that game. So.
Is that because of injuries, or is it just because of rotation, or you wanted to try some different things?
It's partially because of rotation. I mean, at some point I played each of those positions throughout the year, so it's just kind of a way to get our guys a break, and I think that I perform at. I don't think there's a drop off when I switch positions, which kind of allows us to have a good rotation, keeping our guys fresh and keep our offense rolling, which is important.
And didn't you guys stayed in one series with Henry? Was it kind of mostly? It looked like mostly offensive line, or most starters with him one series.
Yeah, I think there was one series. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you got a pretty experienced offensive line, and then back behind that, a lot of freshmen and people that have been able to get experience in a few games this season. What have you seen from that younger group in the second half of this game?
I mean, what was great about this game, I think, is that when we did get our younger guys in, especially from the offensive line standpoint, they kept it rolling, which is great. So it means that they're learning, and like you said, they're getting some good experience against some good players. So I think that will benefit our program in the future to have those live game reps because you just can't simulate that. So.
I think a big deal of this New Mexico game, the Wyoming game, you just never really got your chunk yardage passing attack going, and that you clearly got that back on track against New Mexico. So how big of a deal was it to do that?
I mean, it was great, including we got a lot of our screen game going, kind of our bubble screen on the outside. We wanted to run the ball, but then they'd load the box, so then we just throw it out to the bubble screen and get an easy 5 yards or 4 yards or whatever it was, and that kind of made them spread out a little bit, and then we got our run game going later in the game. So it was huge. And you got to have passing and running to have an effective offense. So.
What did you think about being in the top 25?
I mean, that was great. I mean, woke up to that, and I honestly didn't know we were that close, but it's a good feeling. But kind of we talked with Coach Wells, and it's kind of good, but also we just need to focus and take it 1 week at a time because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what we're ranked in the middle of the season, right? Remember, it matters how we finish the season. So, it's nice, but we're not done yet.
Seems like you guys have used Darwin Thompson and Joe Bright pretty much evenly at running back. And do you guys, as an offensive line, do you change anything whatsoever when another running back comes in? I mean, or is it all the same for you guys?
No, I mean, most of the time with our tempo, and they sub without us knowing. So most of the time we don't know who's back there until we see them get tackled or if, they're running downfield. So there's nothing that changes between us. They both run really hard. They both hit gaps, and, they're both really good players.
You have any thoughts on Hawaii, or you remember playing some of these guys last year in the game here or anything like that? I mean, they always are known for having really athletic, physical kind of guys on the offense, on their defensive line. They're kind of quick guys that can really move and stuff. Is that true? Or?
Yeah, I mean, we played them last year, so we got a little glimpse of that. But I think that just like we're a different team from last year, I think they're a different team from last year as well. So we'll approach this week of preparation, with knowing that and taking that into account.
Have you started to study them at all yet, or are you going to do that later today?
Yeah, I've stared looking at
what
some
do you
film.
see?
I mean, we just can't take them lightly, and you got to, be ready for the schemes that they have. And I think we've seen similar fronts from some different teams earlier this year as well. So I think that'll kind of help us, and we'll just move forward from there.
I think we played really well on defense. They started off moving the ball on us the first drive, and then kind of snapped back into how we play and did a lot of things right. A lot of 3-and-outs, a lot of turnovers, things that we emphasize. I just think we played a really complete game. There was some things that, from our standpoint, that we had to fix, some improvements. But overall, I thought the defense played really well.
You went out, but you came back in.
Yeah.
Are you okay or what?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine. Just a little tweak here and there, but I'm fine.
Who doesn't have a tweak, right?
Week 9, was it week 9? Little tweaks here and there, but I'll be fine.
What's your reaction to the ranking of getting in the top 20?
I think like Roman said, I think it's cool. I think it's really a salute to our program and how we do things and how this season has gone. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really affect the Mountain West championship of what we focus on. That's our goal. So I mean, it's cool. It's an honor to be top 25, but we still have big plans for the rest of the season.
You guys with the first unit out there effectively shut them down. I mean, 3 points in the whole first half offensively that they scored. And you said that there's things that you want to work on. What are those things that you see on film that you could have done a little bit better in that game?
It's kind of like when you see it from that perspective, it's hard to see improvement. You hold a team for 3 points in the first half. You see there's not really too much room for improvement, but there's a lot of inside things where, as far as us reading our keys to play faster, to really dominate. We get told that we're a good defense a lot, but our goal is to be a championship defense. And if you want to make well, they only got 3 yards on this play, that's a good thing. That's a good defense. But in our mindset, if we read our keys right, be in the right position, things like that, they shouldn't have no yards on that play. So those are the things that we're trying to chase and go out there every day. So.
You having fun playing in this position that they put you in this year?
Well, it's been great. It's been amazing playing the outside linebacker position. I'm not really considered even outside linebacker. I guess they still label me as DB, but this position has really allowed me to elevate my game and kind of do a lot of different things where I'm in the run responsibility a lot more and pass coverage a lot more. I'm just kind of all over the place, and it's been fun.
How much do your responsibilities change for a week like this where you're playing more of a passing attack?
Yeah, I mean, it's more focused on coverage this week, but we still gonna do what we do. We're multiple defense. We do a lot of different things, and the main thing is to stop the run every week. So I'm a run first player, but at the same time, playing Hawaii, they're gonna throw the ball a lot more. So I got to be ready for that.
What do you see out of Cole McDonald in that Hawaii offense? They can put up points in a hurry. What do you see out of them?
They're an electric offense. They have a lot of big plays, things like that, and they're gonna come out swinging, ready to. So every week, not to compare them to every different game, but it's about what we do. It's about how we prepare, how we practice, our focus, things like that, and the rest will take care of itself.
When you stand where you do, they have slots usually on both sides. A lot of their formations and stuff. Do you have to sometimes cover slot guys in your spot? Or
yeah, it's gonna be with our defense, it's a mixture of everything. I'm gonna be probably like I said, I'm gonna be all over the field. So I mean, you can see me everywhere basically.
This defense has had a decent amount of attrition in the secondary, people getting injured and stuff. Just tell me a little bit about the depth of this team that's been able to step in and fill in for the gap of those people that have been injured.
I always go back to how we've practiced, how our focus, things like that, and I feel like when you have a defense buy into that, and not just your starting 11, you have the whole defense, so the backups, second and third string guys really waiting to step into a role to be ready and play. It makes it easier when injuries happen. Like it's obviously hard for guys go down. It's hard to kind of move pieces around, but at the same time, when you have guys ready to play and know their role, it makes it a lot easier.
It's different this year in all areas. I mean, winning makes it. Winning changes how you guys even approach week to week or practice to practice or whatever, that kind of thing. But again, it started before the year started, didn't it?
Yeah, we had we worked really hard this off season. We worked hard from January to now. We continue to work hard, and I guess one of the biggest things is kind of having all 100 having guys we have on the team, all buy into one goal and be Mountain West champs. And we talk about it a lot. Past years we talked about it a lot, and you see to me the biggest difference is when you have a lot of leaders being more vocal, being more intentional, and then the younger guys really just falling in line and just wanting to be. There's a lot of competition on this team, what makes it even better because every day you got to go out and work. It's not just going to be handed to you. So doing that since January, having that goal since January, having that that dream of winning the Mountain West Championship, it's really kind of just elevated our game, elevated our focus. And once you put you string wins together like this, it's like, okay, now it's not like just a dream, it's a reality. Like we in control of our own destiny, something that we can do. And you get that in a position like this, you don't really want to mess it up. So you go back to your training, go back to what you do. We work hard. We've been doing all of this since January, so there's really nothing to change now.
Are you one of the vocal guys? Do you feel like you've upped your saying stuff compared to the other years?
I would say yes, but at the same time, I'm more of a quiet guy, I guess.
Do your job and follow me or whatever.
Exactly. I'm gonna do my job, follow me, and I will say though, it's gotten to the point where us as leaders, it's not just okay. If a guy isn't doing his job, let's just sit back and hopefully he gets it. Hopefully he learns that he has to do this eventually. As a leader on this team, we see guys who, they lack in some areas or they're not really committed to the, our goals, and that's when you have to say something. That's when it's like, okay, I can't just sit back if, I want our team to win a Mountain West Championship. I can't just sit back and just be he'll follow along at some point. Sometimes you got to say something, and I feel like that's kind of been my role.
With as much experience there is on this defense, is there like a true set leader? Is it Sully? Is it you, or is it just anybody who can talk?
This defense is it's leadership all over the place. You get it from a lot of the areas. You get it from the D-line. You get it from the linebackers. We have a lot of depth in leadership on our defense. So I feel like that what makes us, that's what makes us really good, is because you hear it a lot, not just from the D-line, or you hear it not just from the DBs from my aspect, but you hear it from every position on the field. From D-line, the corner, everywhere. There's somebody that's potentially could be a leader and will say something if things aren't going how they want it to.
So facing a team like Hawaii, that really strong pass attack, the numbers are crazy. How much does it help to face a guy like Jordan Love every day in practice when you prepare for these teams?
Jordan's special. He's a special quarterback, and a lot of growth from when he first got here to now. And it's hard. Practice is hard. It's not just we go out and gonna go through the motions. You have, like I said, it's a lot of competition on this team. You got to compete in practice, and going against our offense helps us a lot. Playing on Saturdays, because our offense is really good. So, I can't just go out there and expect that, okay, we're going to dominate the offense today. Like, they have a lot of good players. They do a lot of different things, and, it comes down to our focus and how we prepare. So, preparing against Jordan a lot helps us on Saturdays.
Good win for our team and our guys, and biggest thing coming out of that was a chance to get to 5-0 at home in Maverick Stadium, and we cleared that hurdle. So that was a great job by our guys. I thought our guys prepared well all week. Our assistant coaches did a great job of getting them ready to go, energetic. Started the game good on both sides of the ball, fed off each other, got a big lead, and ball game was over pretty quick. And so I think the offense did a nice job of rebounding from the week before. They were efficient, protected Jordan. He threw some good balls, made some contested catches, caught the ball well on the perimeter. A lot of guys caught it. Our defense played, lights out against the run. You create turnovers and you score a non-offensive touchdown again. I mean, it's almost every single game we're getting one from either the defense or the special teams. That usually creates momentum, and our offense is fed off of it, and certainly that was the case again Saturday. So this week, big week for us, and going on the road in the Mountain West, playing Hawaii. It's always tough to win over there. There's a ton of distractions. There's the travel issue, all that. We need to really focus on us, control what we can control. That started this morning, and that's really Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, our preparation before we head over there. And so we'll do our very best to continue to prepare at a high level. We respect every opponent. We fear no one. This is a team in Hawaii that, what a really good quarterback and a great passing game. McDonald's had a great season. He can be lights out if you give him time. You've got to be able to get any guy like that, you got to get him off their rhythm. They've got great receivers, 19, 5, and multiple guys. I can't even name every single number that I've seen today. But those guys, that's a passing attack. Really, it's as an ex-quarterback, it's fun to watch, to see it on tape. Coach Rolovich does a great job. He played in that offense, under Coach Jones, and just, his lineage of being a quarterback coach there, the offense coordinator there, and just lighting it up. And Nick's always done a great job coaching the quarterback, and he's got another great one right now, and they're doing a great job on offense. 96 gets your attention really quick on defense. He is very active off the edge, is explosive pass rusher and I wouldn't say blitzer because he's usually in the rush, but he is active behind the line of scrimmage. So certainly a big challenge for us to go on the road and to play well, and that's probably about it. So go ahead and open it up for questions, Al.
I gotta ask about Shaq Bond. Do you have any?
I don't have any news for you today.
Nothing on that. Okay, and then I was gonna ask, did you ever recruit Usera when he was at Cedar City and Utah kid, the receiver?
Yeah, we did, and Frank and I were actually talking about that today. He was a good player. He was a quarterback, if I'm not mistaken, there, and I know he had a lot of people on the island. He'd been on the at Hawaii previous to that, and so that was so long ago. It was actually before I was the head coach.
Because he went on a mission.
Correct. Although I was here. I don't remember the exact details of that, but yeah.
Okay, and then just in specifics, you can obviously tell that the team and you have already talked about ranking, and I mean it's nice, and you're going to get a lot of pats on the back and all that kind of stuff, but the focus you can't even think about any of that kind of stuff right now, really.
No, I think the polls are nice and the rankings nice. And it's for my wife and her friends and my mom and her friends and for all you guys and for all the students up on campus, and Mr. Hartwell loves it. And so other than that, the bottom line is this. We don't go through off season in January, February and break every team huddle and say, top 25 ranking on 3, 1, 2, 3. I mean, yeah, it's nice, it's recognition, but that's not, I want to be ranked there at the end of the year. And if we continue to strive and I think take steps towards our number one goal, there's a chance for that at the end of the year. Is it nice? Yeah, I get that and I recognize that, but goodness gracious, we're done with the retweets and the pats on the back and all that stuff. That ended this morning. And I told him that's great. That recognizes what you've done so far. And so what we've done so far is get ourselves to the month of November for games that mean something. So every one means a little bit more. And really, there's not much more to make out of it than that. Wow, did I just stymie you guys with that response?
I was letting somebody else.
Oh, okay.
No, with Ursa, I mean, he was injured last year. I mean, how much more dynamic of a passing attack are they with him?
Oh, he's he's, besides the quarterback, he's what makes it go. He is dynamic. He can feel zone or man. He knows how to wiggle himself open. Tremendous hands, makes competitive catches. Sneaky, quick, fast. I mean, he's a great player.
Does he play out of the slot, coach, or is
Yeah.
he?
Looks like that.
Yep.
Still, they still have got guys who have enough running attack that you can't,
Oh, yeah.
you can't just
No.
forget that too.
Yeah, and that's the thing is you got to stop the one back run game. They run one back power. They're going to run zone read. They're going to run draw. They're going to run the shovel pass, and that has been a staple in that offense. Shoot, I remember coaching at Tulsa, playing them. Timmy Chang and all the way up. All those guys that they've had. It's no, you can't sleep on the run game.
And
That's what makes it a dynamic offense because they do such great stuff out of the run game with the one back.
And isn't it designed, when you talk about you've got to get him out of rhythm or whatever, but it's designed to be a fast attacking stuff for the most part, so you don't get a chance to really go back and hurt the quarterback too, right?
That's what they want. Yeah, we're no different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's hard to put. Sometimes it's hard when you say you want to get him out of rhythm or whatever because they do things so fast. Sometimes.
Yeah, and they do a good job of mixing in play action. They change his launch point. They do some RPOs. They do some play action. They've got some half roll, and there's drop back and there's quick game. I mean, they're changing his launch point. This offense has been very dynamic and very successful for a long time.
Coach, in a game like Saturdays where the second half, the game's pretty much in hand, you've got your backups in there. Where do you draw the balance of we want these guys to get a good experience and get them in there and get them good reps, but also we're not running up the score?
That's what makes it a headache a little bit for me. Because I think your backups deserve a chance to go in and compete and play, and that also makes it a challenge for our offense. Kind of calling a game too and managing the clock because we don't slow it down. We don't slow it down very good. But we did a good job. I thought we did a good job Saturday. Controlling the time of possession in the second half and not putting our defense back out there on the field and still giving ourselves a chance to move the ball with the backups. I don't think there's anything wrong with throwing quick game. It's extended handoff the way I look at it. I think we went 3 and out on the first series with the twos, and actually it wasn't just the twos. There was quite a few of the threes in there, and kicked a field goal with their very first drive, and then we had a couple turnovers. But other than that, they did a nice job of getting first downs and continuing drives. So we were better with that group and a similar group than we were 2 weeks ago in UNLV game when we were all upset the way it way it ended. But you're trying for balance. That's a tough balance sometimes.
The good thing about most of the home games this year is your second, third string defense has gotten a lot of snaps in the second half against first string offenses. So how important is that experience that they've garnered going to help against a team like Hawaii, where you're going to have to use a lot of defensive backs probably? Well,
I think there's a mix of that being a positive. I tell you that to me, the main positive is getting the starters out and resting them. When you go back and you look at amount, reps played over the years, and I keep a close eye on that because I believe it's cumulative as we add all these reps up, and certainly so are practice reps against a tempo offense, which is tough. And you're looking at those numbers for the defense, and there's been, I think it's now 4 second halves where the predominant time, or that's better, I need a better word, predominantly most of the time in the second half of 4 different games, our twos have been out there and our ones have been standing next to me. So we've gotten a little bit more rest, and certainly I think that'll be, and then you add a bye week. We've already had our bye week, so we're a little bit more fresh than a normal team that's come off 8 games.
Have you played a lot of true freshmen in this 4-game rule thing this year?
Yeah.
Do you have a number? Can you tell us how many? Would you have played 15? Would you have played 10? Would you?
Probably. Yeah, more than 10.
And you're you still mix new guys in every game a little bit for that? Is that the way it kind of works?
And you're still managing a few of them at a few positions just in case there's injuries here. But after the next couple weeks, they'll, I think you're kind of set to how many games there's left and are you going to have injuries at certain positions. You're just trying to manage the roster, and it's a lot more on me and a few of the assistant coaches this year than in years past, but it's an excellent rule. And we've gotten a decent amount of freshmen in and gotten them some game experience, which is good, and you're still able to redshirt them.
Jordan was Player of the Week again in the conference.
For the first half?
Yeah. Well, yeah. We had people are saying, they call in after and they will go, well, why don't you leave him in to set records? Well, he'd probably rather, like you said.
Who's calling in saying that? Who would say stuff like that?
But what I wanted to get to is this game. I mean, obviously the last game had to mentally have something to do a little bit with how he came out and played this game. I would have to think, to not have a great game the game before. But his throws this game and the catches that were made contested were unbelievable throws.
Yeah.
It was as good as it almost could have been.
We came out aggressive. I think David Yost did a nice job of mixing some completions with some aggressiveness in terms of the downfield throws and Tarver especially, Jalen Green a couple times. They made some contested catches early in the game, and I think anytime you do that and you're getting protection, it gives the quarterback a little bit more confidence. And certainly, I think they all thought on offense that they needed to come out and prove that, the week before, wasn't our best. And I thought we came out ready to play. I understand it was 3 and out, but we had a ball that was just a little bit off target, not much. Should have caught it, and then didn't run the next route real good. But other than that, we were right on where we were going with the ball, and our demeanor was good, and they knew it coming off the sidelines, and then boom, here it goes. And so I think we began the game in the right framework.
Coach, post-game you talked a little bit about going out to Hawaii and how important it is to have a mature group, and that you had that in 2014.
Yeah.
Could you just talk a little bit about the maturity of this year's group?
Yeah, I think this year's team reminds me a little bit of the 2014 team in terms of the mature leadership. I think our captains have been unbelievable this year, and they're not just all seniors, they're juniors and sophomores. But all 18 of those guys, I think, are leading by production and vocally. They're producing. I just think there's a maturity about them. They enjoy football. I think, are doing a great job of holding their teammates accountable on the field, off the field. They encourage the young guys. To see the way those veterans acted on the sidelines, during the second half of Saturday's game, and how, I was getting them off the white all the time. They were, on the edge, and they were into it. They're into ball. And there's a lot of football junkies in this year's team, and really amongst those leaders too. And they enjoy each other, and I think they enjoy the success that each guy has. And they every one of those guys have selfish individual goals, but yet they, I think they're harnessed within a group and a team atmosphere with team goals at the forefront of everybody's mind, knowing that what they can accomplish as a team supersedes anything that they could do individually, and the importance of the logo being a lot more important than one person. And they actually get that really good.
Well, and of course those guys are a big part of the reason why you've achieved what you have. But now that you're getting top 25 recognition and getting breaking all these school records and everything, how important is it to have those guys in the locker room to kind of bring it all back and say, want to know? I
think it's everything, because I think a player-led team can be great, a coach-led team can be only good, and I think right now we're being led by a lot of those leaders in that locker room, and they're doing a great job. And so that's the challenge, is each and every week. It's what we do and how we do it, recognizing who your opponent is and their schemes and the things that we need to tweak on offense, defense, and special teams, but it's still all about us. And a lot of that, in terms of the investment and how we practice, has everything to do with us.